Let's do this. All right, so this is the Richland County Public Safety and Judicial Standing Committee for August 7th, 8:30. I have 8:30, so we're going to get started. Could we do the roll call?
Meyer.
Here.
Halsey. Here. Thompson. Here. Nolan. Here. Collins Johnson. Here. Frank.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Sir, you have a form.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Verification of open meeting minutes, law compliance. All good?
The meeting has been properly noticed, sir.
Perfect. Approve of agenda. Looks like we have an 11-point agenda. I'm looking for a motion to approve such an agenda. Motion by Welty, second by Collins Johnsrud. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Wonderful. Moving on. Item number 5, approval of the July 10th, 2026 Public Safety Standing Committee meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at those minutes. Okay, motion by Meyer, second by Nolan. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Excellent. Public comment. Currently at item number 6, public comment. Anybody online first? Let's start with anybody online for public comment. Nobody online for public comment? All right, anybody in house? Anybody here present? Public comment. Don't have any sheets here for public comment, so we are moving on to item number 7, reports. Sheriff's report, department activities, and monthly bills.
All right. Everyone, you have a chance to look over the sheriff's bills. Any questions on those?
So just as a review for our new member, Randy Schmidt, thank you for being here. We do go over the bills. We don't actually have an approval for them, but we like every month to see the bills to come up. So it's public. We can see what there is, what questions there are, and we do those. So this is an opportunity for people to ask questions, look them over, discuss anything.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way to increase the number of electronic monitoring inmates?
That's kind of dependent on who gets sentenced and what if they're granted approval for EMP or release from the jail. So, I mean, we pretty much grant people approval to be on EMP if they have the ability, but they also have to be able to pass the drug test, and they have to sit 48 hours and actually have a job to go on EMP.
So it's not the number of bracelets that's limiting, it's the.
We do have a limited amount of bracelets, but we haven't hit that number for a while now. So I think we're up to 10 bracelets that we have. So ideally, we would put more people on it if we could.
So when you say complaints, does the city take care of their own? The county just does everything else, or does the city do stuff in the city too?
The city has their own officers that handle most of their own
Right.
complaints. We do assist a lot of times in the city, but yeah, we'll look at the reports after. There's no question on bills. I can move with the complaints and talk more about that.
I mean, that's like 15 a day. Yeah.
So if we can finish up the bills, we'll go on to the other documents, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just so, any
Oh,
questions?
this isn't bills? Oh, it's in the bills.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We're going through and it's worked out. So anything with the bills, any questions on the bills? Start with that. Yes.
Question. The advanced correctional thing here for prisoners, is that to another facility? Another facility, or is that here?
For which one, sorry?
For the very first line.
Advanced correctional.
Advanced correctional, that's for here.
Care, that's here.
That's here.
Okay. I was just curious.
And what is that?
That's for your doctors. They come in, they meet with them, and all their medications are I mean, pretty much anything that while they're in the facility here, if they have to see a nurse or get prescribed their drugs and stuff like that, that's where all that stuff goes to. So if they have expensive drugs, it's something out of there. I think Devin actually drove down to get a drug from Madison to save some money last week. Otherwise, they're going to charge us about 3 times as much just to ship it here. So
It's cheaper to drive to Madison. That's right. So. Questions on the bills?
So what, like it says gasoline, do you use all the people for gasoline or just Quick Trip? I see Quick Trip.
We used to use mobile, but we actually did some shopping around and we get the best discounts. So we use Richland Center. We can track our fleet as far as which squads are getting which mileage and what gas they're putting in their vehicles. And Quick Trip's pretty much available any place we go. We found sometimes when we used to go up to Winnebago, it was a little bit harder to find a mobile station on the way back. So Quick Trips are all over the state and they're very, very easy to get into. So mainly use Quick Trip right now.
Sure, I'll get asked.
Good questions. That's what we're here for. Other questions on the bills?
I do have a question on gas. Are any of the units taken home or is this actual?
Any vehicles being taken
Are
home?
they taken home by deputies?
All our squads are take homes. So all of our patrol deputies, we switched to take home squads. Oh boy, that's gotta be right after you, was it right after you left, Bob? We started
Yeah.
with that. We started with our special
19.
response team, having take home vehicles just so they can respond scene. And then actually we did kind of a cost analysis and it really saves the county money in the long run to have them take home squads. We were pretty much having four squads, 5 squads maybe that were used by every shift. So you have a car that's running 24/7. You're putting so much wear and tear on that vehicle and they're going in for maintenance and we were running them up to 200,000 miles just so we couldn't get cars in. So by switching to take home squads, we can get squads pushed out the last 5 to 6 years instead of replacing them every 2 to 3 years. And people take better care of their cars. And we found it also for get people starting on duty in different parts of the county that way too. So when they start their shifts, they don't have to come here and like drive all the way up to Viola to handle a complaint. You have people in separate areas that can respond immediately. Yep.
Question.
Yeah.
Tom's Tire Service, where's that located at?
I think they're out of Madison. We used to get our tires through Bindle's Tires here in Richland Center. And then when he closed down, we started ordering our tires through Pops and he'll ship them to whatever business that we have our cars going for maintenance. So they were the best price tires that we could get and they ship them pretty darn quick. So.
Other questions? Okay. Hearing none, let's move on from finance.
All right. So for the sheriff's monthly reports, for July, jail bookings, we were up to 64. Average number of inmates housed in the county, 30.51. 0 house out of county. Monthly cost of housing inmates out of county, so $0 there. Nothing for medical costs outside of county. Monthly complaints, we had 430. Traffic citations issued 18. No warnings issued. Some process papers, we served 30. Transports for the month, we had 8. And number of average number of electronic monitoring, we had 4. Other calls, so calls for service, it's 750. July, calls for EMS 108. Calls for the Richland Center Police Department 158 and calls for the fire department 23.
So I think clarification on that, those are calls that come into the 911 center. They're not handled, the Richland Center Police Department calls aren't handled by the sheriff or their regular cooperation with that. But those are calls that come into the 911 center that are then dispatched out to the proper agencies, whether it's fire or law or EMS. Does that clarify the question?
And also, to clarify for city during the week, most of the time they have their own dispatch center. So the Richland Center Police Department might have more calls throughout the month, but we only answer after 5 o'clock, their phones and weekends.
But but you guys handle all of their 911 calls.
All 911
24
calls.
hours a day, 7 days a week, everything comes in.
Every 911 calls comes to the sheriff's.
So all the inmates that there's 30 housed at any one time,
Average for this month was 30 inmates in our jail.
and they're all ours, or do we farm them in, or?
No, we don't have space to farm in any other inmates.
Those are just Richland County,
Those are
30.
just Richland County inmates.
And then do they get shipped out elsewhere, or?
Well, problem that we have in our jail being a little bit smaller is that they have different, certain classifications. And we can't put like an inmate that's classified as a 1 and with the classified of an inmate of an 8. So if we have,
One is bad or 8 is bad?
it's more risk than, like, 1's a more risk than an 8.
Okay.
So, and if we have, female housing, it's usually where you have the problem, is we don't have enough space to put all these classifications for males and then do it for females as well. Then we might have to house some inmates elsewhere. This month we didn't run into that issue, but it's been an ongoing.
Do we have we don't have any farmed out, so to speak, right now?
Not right now, no.
Is 30 a normal number for a county our size?
I mean, Crawford County, I think they were at 15. And I think Iowa County, they've been averaging around what we are too, 25, 30, but they have a bigger jail.
What are their populations? I mean, what's Richland County? What is 15,000?
I think it's 17, yeah.
And Crawford's similar?
Crawford, I think is slightly smaller. Iowa County's bigger.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I see that there's a dip in traffic citations issued. Is there a reason for that?
Could have been that our main traffic writers may have been on training for a couple weeks. So, I mean, sometimes it kind of goes with the flow. I mean, it's bad weather. Sometimes you don't have as many citations being issued for that month because no one wants to get out in pouring rain and issue citations in the rain. Kind of more of a dangerous situation to try to stop cars too. So it all depends on weather and if people are on training or, people are just around for the month.
Yeah, I recall in the past, there was a grant that had expired that might have affected that. I didn't know if we had a situation like that.
No, we haven't had a grant. Last year they didn't approve our traffic safety grant though. Apparently we did too good of a job. And so when we have no reported crashes, we have crashes that people are wearing their seatbelts and they're not, the cause of the accident wasn't due to speed. The state sees that. They're like, well, you guys did such a good job enforcing the laws that you're not having these issues anymore. So we're not going to give you the grant money this year. Unfortunately.
I also think that road construction has a lot to do with it because some of your guys' favorite spots, there's road construction going.
That is another thing too. Usually we get a lot of citations out here on 14 and with all the stuff out there, it's not worth trying to pull somebody over because it's going to cause more of a disaster and probably a crash if we try to stop someone and then works
Down on the
out.
corner on 130 down there.
Yeah.
That's all.
That too.
Other questions on the sheriff's monthly report? Okay. Hearing none, let's move on.
All right, sure. This month I also put in a staffing memo update. I put these out in the past, Randy, you've probably never seen these before, but back when Kerry was on the board, he wanted to see kind of a staffing update. It's kind of nice for everyone on the board to know where we're sitting at, if we have openings and people that resigned or left or what happened. So kind of shows what our current staffing levels are, like what we can staff to. And then goes down lower as far as last person we hired on the road, and then our new jailer dispatchers that were hired. Our officers that are on probation still. And then at the very bottom, it shows what we still have vacant. So we just recently filled our male jailer position. Jacob Morris started on the 3rd. The jail, he's training. I think he'll be a good hire. We recently did interviews for the female position, and it was looking good, but at this point, we're kind of been put on hold. So hopefully, maybe she'll still decide to come work for us, but right now it's been kind of put on hold. So we might have to open that back up again. Any questions on our staffing at all, or?
What does a casual employee entail?
So our casual employees, usually we use those for covering shifts that, like if we have a guy that's on baby leave and then we have someone else on vacation. If we have trained casual guys that can come in and cover a road shift, do that, but most of them are for court coverage. We don't have enough people to cover court, or we use them for transports and setting up like at the hospitals with the people that are detained there for an ED or something. So we have several road certified deputies that can go do transports, but a lot of our part-time casual employees are in the jail.
Do they get benefits, casual?
No benefits.
Just paid.
Okay, yeah. We use them a lot in the jails to cover shifts, so.
Further questions? All right, moving on then, please.
All right, I guess our thing I'll talk about is, as everyone maybe should be aware of, is that we had the National Night Out this week at the fairgrounds. What was it, the 7th or 8th, whatever it is, we've been there every year, and this year it rained in the beginning. So people were concerned that we won't have a very good turnout, but the rain stopped, and I think we had a very good turnout. A lot of people came out. They had a good event. You guys get to see the MRAP out there, our special response team vehicle. We had all of our equipment out there so people could see kind of what that looks like, and kids got to participate in breaking open the door with the breaching tool. So I think they enjoyed that, and hopefully next year we have another good turnout. I don't believe we have any other. One of our squads was completed. So we have 3 squads that are up to be built for this year. We had our investigator vehicle, and then we have our 2 squad cars. The investigator car came back, and that one's completed, and hoping here one of our other squads will be back soon, because we just got bad news that one of our other squads may be having an antifreeze and with the oil for some reason. So
One of the Ford,
it's actually one of the Dodges.
one of the Dodges.
So when you say built, you mean that's when you accessorize with what you
Yep.
need in them?
They probably, I'll.
So you get a new vehicle and then you take it somewhere to,
Did it?
what does it cost normally to equip a vehicle to?
Well, it depends on what kind of vehicle. Like the investigator, we don't put the cage in it, and we don't put all the outside lights. We try to make it a little bit less obvious as a law enforcement vehicle. So for that one, I think it's like $8,000 to equip, but your normal squads are between 15 and 20,000 for everything they put into them.
So when you're done and trade them in, do they take that equipment back out?
We've been trying, like this year, we're actually taking one of our old squads up, and they're gonna strip everything that's still usable on it. They're gonna put a new squad. But obviously with squads, like everything else, year to year they change, and then some things they can't reuse. And then other things like electronics, after so long a period of time, they doesn't pay to use them again. So we're trying to get two rotations out of our stuff to save money.
Yeah.
But this year we're doing that. Next year we probably will have to buy new stuff for some of the squads.
So I'm looking at the vehicle report that's there, and the plate 6958, it shows March, April, and May that the mileage is in red, and now it's not in red.
Oh, I try to put all the ones that are over 100,000 hours. I try to put those in a red,
Okay.
and I probably just forgot to do that. So that just needs to be highlighted to make those red again.
Is that mileage or hours?
Those are mileage. That's mileage on it.
Okay, great, thank you.
And that's the other thing too, Randy. We try to put the mileage every month out, so people can kind of see what the average mileage is per squad car. Try to keep track of that. So we're trying to keep it as close to 100,000 to switch them out, but obviously with cars going down and car deer accidents, it's really hard to have cars that make it all the way sometimes. Any questions on the squad mileage? But yeah, that was just an oversight on my part for not highlighting those red.
Yes, sir.
Who does the upfitting for the?
Last year and this year, we have thin line outfitters out of La Crosse who are outfitting. In the past, we've used GenCom, we've used Baycom. I think, was there anyone else back when you were around?
Those are the big ones, yeah.
Yes, GenCom, Baycom. There's another company that's down by Bosco. I think we tried to use them one time maybe. But I think we got a quote from GenCom and from Thin Line this year to see who would give us the best rate for billing the squads. And it's pretty close, but Thin Line, they were willing to come pick up the vehicles and then drop them off after they're completed. Or with GenCom, we had to take officers down, drop them off, have someone else pick them up, bring it back, and then go down again and pick them up.
Do you have GPS in them so you can see where everybody's at all the time?
They are equipped with the GPS through the mapping system through Spillman, so as long as it's working correctly, and within Richland County, it's spotty sometimes, but we can see where most squads are during their shifts, yes.
I noticed the flock camera was down.
On Highway 80 and 193. Yep, we are also dealing with the ongoing debate of flock cameras, and one was stolen on Highway 80 and 193.
Okay, I wonder.
Flock cameras are cameras that read license plates as they go by. We use them to find people that are missing, for at-risk seniors, for stolen vehicles. We just used one for a theft of a vehicle case. Earlier, we had one that was for theft of cans from the Lions Club. We found a vehicle from that. We use them all the time to track down, planes thefts or other things, and people aren't a huge fan of them. Not, shouldn't say
Some are.
Some people aren't a huge fan of them. And that one that was stolen was actually part of the drug task force cameras, so they aren't even purchased directly from Richland County. Those were purchased through the drug task force team, which is Iowa, Grant, Richland combined unit.
Does it have a tracking system on them?
As far as what?
As far as when somebody steals one, that you know where it goes?
They do not.
Oh,
No.
little bit of an oversight on their company.
Well, hopefully they fix that problem. So. Any other questions?
Good questions.
Yeah, great questions.
I never even noticed it. That's my farm right there, on quarter 80, 183. I never noticed a camera there.
Yeah, we have. There's 6 total up in the county. Richland County. 2 of them were purchased through the drug task force. And then we, the county, we got donations for 2. And then Muscadet put one on the bridge right there going across. And then Viola has one just across the county line in Viola. So we had 6 in the county, down to 5.
All right, other questions? Good questions, thank you. All right, anything else then from the sheriff's department?
That would be it for the sheriff's department.
All right, item number B, the coroner department activities. In your packet is the Jim Rosian's report on that. Give me just a second to look at that. He's not here to answer questions. I will say that Jim Rosian is retiring at the end of this year, and I do not believe there's anybody that has taken up the call to be on the ballots.
No one has
I
completed the appropriate documentation to be on the ballot.
saw that Lane Kratzenberg was putting his name in for a write-in.
He did not complete the appropriate paperwork.
I just saw some stuff posted on
So,
Facebook for him to do that, so.
I saw it in the shopping news, or in the paper.
maybe he needs to get a hold of to get the right
Yeah.
paperwork in, would
Yeah.
be
Yeah, he
helpful.
missed the deadline.
Oh, deadline, okay. Deadline's over.
Can still be a write-in.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, it's good nice to have it.
Right.
Okay, any questions on the coroner's report? Moving forward, item number C, Circuit Court Judge. Do you have anything?
I do, so I'm Jennifer Lau, to introduce myself. And Judge McDougal is not able to be here. She did attend the All Rise National Treatment Court Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. There were 8,000 attendees there, and she just wanted to pass on that she felt like it was very worthwhile, very valuable. They got a lot of information there, so she was thankful for that opportunity. We had a team that went. So Richland County, I think, came back with a lot of good information from that conference. So she just got back from that. And then earlier this month, we had the Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee. And again, that's the oversight committee for the treatment court. So we just had that meeting. That committee meets quarterly. And so that's is in collaboration with the Sheriff's Department, District Attorney, State Public Defender's Office, Department of Corrections. So all of those people come together for that meeting. So, and we're always trying to improve the processes and the treatment court to make it be valuable and to have it be a success. So we meet quarterly on that. And then we had just had a courthouse security meeting, kind of jumping down to the courthouse security report. We had a meeting last month, and then we had a special meeting this month. And we met in the large courtroom and went through a list of things. Where we're continuing to try and improve things in this facility immediately, well, in conjunction with planning for down the road if we were to get a new facility. So some things we have to keep in mind, you know, that may be put on hold for remodeling, and other things we can implement right away. So Trish was there, and a lot of to-do lists were looked at. That included things like creating policies. So just as an example, when we receive mail, if there's something concerning or threatening a material in there, we may start doing some staff training on that. That has not really been done. That's just one example. We looked at the possibility of making some changes to the north entrance where you come down that ramp. So just, we went through that list, and there was a lot of good action items that came out of that. So I just wanted to thank everyone that came and pass on. We're continually looking at court security, courthouse security in the courtroom, in this building, and the exterior of the building as well. So that's really pretty much kind of did both circuit judge and courthouse security there, if that is all right.
Sure, that's fine. Any questions on either of those? I did attend that meeting. We went through a whole bucket list of ideas and directions, and I think a lot was accomplished on that from the report of the expert that came in and made suggestions, and then we were able to build off of those suggestions. Any questions on item number C or D, or C or D? Hearing none, we will move on to the clerk of court. Stacy did send an email, said she wasn't going to be able to be here, but she does have her report in the packet. I appreciate her communicating that with us. So any questions on that from the committee? Anything you want to review on that or questions? This would be a great time to do it. Hearing none, we will move on to the district attorney. Amy's not here right now. I didn't have any communication with her at this time, so hear nothing from that.
I think she's just, from speaking with her, she's continuing to work on the hiring process.
All right, okay, right. And she was here at the last meeting talking about that, so.
Yes.
Thank you. Ambulance service, you do have a document in your packet reference for ambulance service. If you're at the county board meeting, the last meeting, we do have a new ambulance coordinator who starts on the 10th, I believe, of this month.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, the new for item number H, ambulance service. We do have a new ambulance coordinator that starts on the 10th.
Yeah,
believe it's
the 10th.
So, yeah, starts next Monday. So in your packet is the report from the ambulance, EMS,
His name is Brian Heiss.
yes. Brian Hicks. So he will be at the October meeting, or the September meeting. Jeez, it's 9 months.
I'm gonna back you up. I'm gonna come back to the register and probate.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss that? I'm sorry, go ahead. Wow, I skipped right over it.
Be very brief.
No, you,
So just, real quick, just to kind of give, Randy a brief
yes,
brief
yeah,
overview of register. In the register and probate office, we handle up the probates, but we also handle adult guardianships. So for example, someone that would have dementia that would come through our office. I'm also the juvenile clerk, so children in need of protection and services, if there's any cases with that. Any delinquent cases, if there's anything that involves juveniles that are 17 or younger. Those cases would come through that office as well. And then as the judge's judicial assistant, anything that no one can contact the judge directly. They can't speak to her about a case. They can't directly email her. So I'm kind of the go between questions that might be presented to the judge. So if there's any questions if you ever want to stop by and see the court room or the court office, then feel free to do so.
So you're the advocate or not? You're just the liaison and liaison.
Yeah, pretty much that, yes. I do more scheduling and communication, so there can be no ex parte communication regarding cases or anything where they would speak to the judge. So everything has to take place in the courtroom, in the presence of all parties.
Oh,
but that's also the probate stuff that you do, that's wills and estates, I mean, all those things
Yes,
that you handle also, which I know, thank you, are a huge process.
and just real quick, just in case if there's any questions, so I'm a 2-person office. I have one deputy, and my deputy is out for the next 5 weeks with knee surgery. So there will be times where the office may be closed if I'm in court, if I'm in a meeting here right now, just so that people are aware if there's any questions. We are short-staffed right now. So that's it. I'll just, get back to people as soon as I can.
And you present your budget every month so we can review that, we can see it, kind of know what's going on, just like the sheriff or anybody else.
Yes, and I know there's gonna be a couple large, down at the bottom there, it refers to guardian ad litem fees, adversary counsel fees. So I know that there's, just as an example, the judge is reviewing a bill from an attorney right now that is approximately $7,000. So right now, the budget looks really good. We can't always foresee exactly how much cases are going to cost. But we do have cases where guardian ad litems have to be appointed per Wisconsin statute. And that's an attorney that represents the best interest of a person, not necessarily what they want, but what is in their best interest. So there are times when the court will appoint someone. There's also times when the court will appoint adversary counsel for someone that may not be able to maneuver the legal system by themselves, and she feels like due to their situation that they may need counsel, and so the judge will appoint counsel for them as well. And those attorney fees come through, and my type of cases, Stacy has her own, but then the types of cases that I just mentioned, all of those attorney fees would go through my budget.
Sorry, questions for register and probate?
We do seek reimbursement. We don't always, sometimes that's much delayed. When we get that, we do get reimbursement sometimes when people are able to pay. And Stacy will talk more about it when she's here, but we do use the state debt collection process too, when they do their taxes.
How much is your revenue from state?
In the register and probate office, I do not have any state revenue. And when we file a probate case, 1/3 of it stays here in the county and 2/3 goes to the state. So some of the probate cases, actually, we send money to the state of Wisconsin. But my office does not receive anything from the state. Stacy's office does have some, there's some money allotted, for the judge. And I am under the circuit court umbrella, but all of that comes in through Stacy's office. I should say the clerk of court's office.
Right.
To be more accurate.
Right, other questions? Thank you for backtracking me on that, sorry
Yes.
for missing that. Checking things off too quick. Other questions for register and probate? All right, moving on then, thank you. District Attorney, we talked about ambulance service. There is a document in your packet from Barb Scott, the interim service director, and as we mentioned, we do have a new director coming in starting Monday.
I'd like to thank our time that she filled in as the interim service director.
Definitely. We discussed we want to do something with that at some point.
Yeah, I don't. Submission, but
Yeah, I don't know.
just
I'm
the
into this.
oral thing.
I'm gonna look into that, yeah, right.
Written note or something.
Sure. All right, very good. Anything or any questions on the ambulance service? I would say that the ambulance or the EMS ad hoc committee met this last week, the first meeting for the EMS district. Questions?
I
Yes,
just
sir.
have one. So in June 25, you had 117, June 26, you had 109. But it said billing for June increased for 26 increased by 51,000 over the previous year. Why would that be so much more?
That would be an excellent question for the director who's not here. But what I can do is I can get that answer and I can bring it back. It could be things that had not been billed.
Substantially.
Yeah, it could be things that had not been billed yet that finally did get billed. There could be a
Right.
number of reasons, but I can get that answer and we can bring that back.
Could possibly be circumstances of the call, too, the types
Yep.
of calls that were.
Yep.
And there's also a different billing.
That's right, we hired a new billing company to handle. I'll find out, we'll have an answer. Other questions? Okay, if there's no other questions, we will move on to emergency management. Introduce yourself and
Hi, I'm Casey Marshall. I'm the Emergency Management Coordinator for Richland County. I'm directly under Josh Elder, who's the Emergency Management Director. I've started in May, so I've been just playing catch up for the year, trying to get caught up on things that are supposed to be due. One of those things is the Whoppers Wisconsin hazardous lists or tier 2 lists. They're part of the upgrade grant, so I've been working on those, trying to get those completed before hopefully, I'm hoping to get them done by next month. Supposed to have a LEPC meeting sometime in October, I think.
what is LAPC, sir?
Oh, shoot, what is it? Forget what it stands for again.
Boy, I do too offhand. Yes. Yes,
Yes, thank you.
local emergency plan, yes.
There's a lot of acronyms and
LE just kept going to law enforcement. You know, it wasn't-
yeah. That'll be something I'll have to get signed at that time. That paperwork signed off. The other stuff I've been working on is getting trainings for the county. I do have, I was able to get a couple trainings that'll come next January and February. One is a incident command system / EOC training, and then the other one in February will be a mass fatality training. I'll help train responders for the event of a mass fatality in February. The ICS one, it will, it's just just goes over and shows like responders how the incident command system works. That training. Otherwise, I'm still training with the Regional Emergency Management Director, Darren Gudgeon. He's been training me. It's been kind of slow because he's also been busy. He's been on the east side of state with the tornadoes and then flooding earlier this year. So I'm still working on it. There's still a few things I gotta go over with him. And then I did turn in the computer hazmat emergency response grant, waiting on approval on that. It was supposed to be due It was due last Friday, but they've extended it to now next Friday due to all the counties that were hit with the tornadoes last week. Or 2 weeks. Otherwise, that's all I really got at the moment.
The trainings, are those gonna be, actual trainings? You're gonna do desktop trainings, or have you decided that yet?
Are you talking about the ones in January and February?
Yes.
There'll have to be an actual training. They'll be in the county boardroom here. I have the county boardroom reserved. Darren Gudgeon and one other trainer will come from Wisconsin Emergency Management and train those courses.
Okay.
I believe one is actually going to be the Mark Myrie, the Crawford County Emergency Management Director. I think he's going to be in one of those, and then I forget which one is second is. But those will all be here, and they're free.
Like that. Questions for Casey? All right. Welcome on board, and we'll look forward to your reports throughout the month. So, all right. Moving on then, to the PSAP NG 911. Sorry, yes, sir.
I kind of cut you off, well, I'm getting hit from about 10 different directions here, but you were talking about the ad hoc committee. You had a meeting
Yes.
and I didn't quite follow through on all that yet. Or what did I didn't hear what you said.
Okay,
sorry.
so pretty much what I just said is that we had that first meeting, this last week. And, we can certainly go over that. I'll sit with you and go over that. We set some dates and times, and letters are gonna go out for information. Yeah, for information for all the townships and the public. We're gonna start those meetings, and we schedule those meetings with the core.
So are you talking about the whole county or just the parts that are involved in the district?
This will be going out to the entire county. We want everybody, all the townships, all the municipalities involved, get them all out, get them all on the same platform of information. Other questions on that? All right, item number J, PSAP NG 911 grants. Anything new on that?
I did talk to Devin. She's out of town today. She took vacation day. She wanted me to tell everybody that, they have scheduled the dispatch project to begin on October 19th. And, working to coordinate, all those pieces, get everything ordered for that dispatch project. And also that the 2027 grant, PSAP, still working on the application, but planning to turn it in prior to the due date of August 25th. So for the PSAP, plan to have the 2027 turned in here by the end of the month. As far as the NG 911 GIS, she advised that they received the first quarterly payment of $20,395. And we'll be submitting our GIS data again next month to qualify for our next quarter payment. And that the 2027 grant announcement will be coming out soon, and we'll start working on that then.
So the PSAP, and the NG 911 GIS grant are two grants administered by the state. I happen to be the chair of that committee on the state to handle that, the subcommittee. And it is money that comes from your cell phones. If you see on your cell phones, it says 75 cents 911 service fee. That fee is collected by the state, and then we put grants out to all the PSAPs in the state. So I think over the years, the state has, the PSAP grant now is $18 million, and the GIS one is, I think, $8 or $9 million that PSAPs can use. I think there's a max of 750,000 per PSAP at this point. So that's new equipment, that's new technology, that's training, it covers the gamut of things that we plan for. So I'm very thankful that Richland County has been regularly tying into that and using that. So it's a big, big chunk. Any questions on that? Okay, hearing none, then we are going to move on to item number 8, discussion and possible action. Approving the creation of an ad hoc committee to develop recommendations on the construction of a new jail facility. So the first document that you will see here is the cover sheet. The background: in early 2026, the County Facilities Committee recommended that construction of a new jail is necessary, and propose a timeline for consideration. The Executive and Finance Committee would like other options to be explored. An ad hoc jail committee could evaluate whether a new jail is necessary, and if so, examine alternatives to constructing a new jail. If it is determined by the full county board that a new jail is needed, the committee will then take the lead in planning, funding, location, design, and construction of the new facility. So if you would then go to the PowerPoint, please.
Need a motion at some point to get this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. So I'm looking for a motion to start discussion and possible action approving the creation of an ad hoc committee to develop recommendations for a jail facility. All right, motion from Supervisor Welty, second from Nolan, and now we're in discussion. All right, so here's kind of a rough PowerPoint idea. The purpose of this is, does this committee want to recommend to the county board to start an ad hoc committee to look at a jail project? All right, we're not making the decision now. We're asking, do we start an ad hoc committee to do that information gathering? That's the purpose of this discussion today. So proposed jail ad hoc committee. So it would look something like this. Next screen, please. Initial recommendation, and this is up to this committee. I'm just throwing some numbers up there so we have to start. Yes.
Well, I mean, it said it was recommended. Did somebody come in and review your facilities? Or, I mean, the background of.
That's an excellent question. We have a state inspector that comes in every year and does recommendations and suggestions. And over the years, they have never said we will shut you down if you don't, but they have regularly said we are looking. You have numerous issues here that could cause such a problem. And one of the things we'll talk about on here is bringing that inspector in, or one of the state representatives that has inspected it over the years to talk about this. Okay.
Also,
Please.
to bring up was the fact that they did the evaluation of all the buildings, and that's part of the recommendation.
Yes.
For the new jail. After they reviewed all the county buildings, they listed what they thought were the most highly prioritized, this needs to be fixed, done first. And they had recommended that the jail be on the top. I'm not sure about where, but it was in the top bracket for the facilities that need to be taken care of first.
So when we say jail, does it include the rest then too? All the rest of the offices that are here?
I think the plan was that it would be jail with the admin staff, like sheriff's department staff.
But not necessarily for courts. I don't know if that would be there.
I don't think it was including, so that's a different part. Clerk of court's part of the different part of the
Right.
buildings. I think in the long run, it'd be great if we could do that, but I think it's a matter of money, as always.
And that's what this ad hoc committee would be tasked with. How big of a project? What do we look at? And that's where that discussion would come from, this ad hoc.
Can I add to that? So at the executive and finance meeting, this was discussed. The jail project has a very large price tag associated with it and a significant bonding requirement. And the exec and finance committee requested that other alternatives also be explored in comparison, so that in full transparency, we had evaluated alternate options, other alternatives for the record. Check that sense.
Are there other options? And that's what the.
Yeah, there might not be any others.
Right.
But are there some? What would the price tag associated with that? So for an example, and I'm just using hypothetical numbers here, if the price tag to build a new jail is $43 million, but to transport prisoners somewhere else would be $1 million a year, you have 40 years worth of transports at that price. So I don't know if those numbers are even realistic or if that's even a possible alternative, but it's something to consider. So before we would present a bonding project, we'd have more information available for the public and the board.
And just for background, so they always have the jail inspector, but we also had a company called Venture Architects that came in and did this large study and recommended this. And also, they also did a space study. And so all of these studies have added information to this. It's not just the jail inspector. Venture
Correct.
Architects has been a large driving force in this.
Very, yes, very valid, thank you. Okay, so, ad hoc committee structure, these are some ideas that we tossed out there. It's up to this committee to say what you want or who you think should be on it. My initial suggestions were 5 county board supervisors. One of them would be a public safety chair or designee. It wouldn't have to be me, it could be anybody here. 1 person from Public Works, and then 3 at-large county board members. So that is,
So that'd be the county board representation and then.
yes,
In the this recommendation structure, there's other. groups.
yes, if you go to the next slide, please. The next slide would be the advisory non-voting members, the people that would be bringing information into the committee. So we would have the sheriff, the chief deputy, the jail lieutenant, chief of police, district attorney's office, finance director, county administrator, behavioral mental health, and anybody else you're interested in. These are some names I'm putting out there so we can have that discussion, have a place to start. Okay, and the next slide then, please. Some of the goals that we thought they should start working on or coming up with. That if we need a new jail, if yes, this group kind of says that's a direction. We'd like them to come up with location ideas, funding ideas. Should a consultant be hired for this? Should we do a community event or community information gathering? What size should be the facility? And if they decide or they bring a direction, they have a no side, maybe they have a yes side and a no side, a positive and a negative side or an alternate side. What are the other options? This committee will then be tasked with what are the other options? Are there other options? Like, is transport an option? So this is a overall picture. I think, was there one more slide? Is that it? Yeah, it's pretty small. So we did put a rough timeline down. I'm kind of big on giving direction and timelines. This is up to this committee to change and direct that, but in my opinion, we need to start with something. So I'd like to see that, as we discussed, that first meeting in September. In October, we could bring the jail inspector in, review the Department of Corrections rules. November, discuss options, and hopefully by December have some type of recommendation for the county. Yes.
So in the timeline, is there a report back to this committee included in there?
There certainly should be.
I see recommendations, full county board. I'm missing, if it says that I'm missing that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that would depend who the ad hoc committee is directed to. Is that going to be directed to finance or directed back to here?
Or, I mean, there's public safety, public works as part of this.
Yeah, because they're both on there.
I don't know how
Okay.
we keep the other committees.
So we need to add.
But didn't sorry, Jeff,
Yes. Okay.
didn't they say in that finance executive committee that it was tasked with the public safety judiciary committee to make that decision though?
Right. So we could make that decision. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what they said in that meeting. It was, they tasked it to you
Well-
guys to make that decision.
I guess at that point, yes.
I think it came back to this group to decide where to go from there. I don't
Yeah.
know. The decision.
I thought they said that they tasked you guys with making the decision. Well,
With the ad hoc committee. to
Which
do
is what
that.
they ad hoc
I think it was just with the ad hoc.
That's
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah. So yeah, and this, we should encourage that reporting come back to monthly reporting.
September, it says set a timeline.
Oh, it does. Okay, there you go. Well, yeah, and there's the timeline that they can set, that ad hoc committee would be responsible to set that.
We might want to add public works though.
Yes,
Yes.
good call. Add Public Works.
One of the comments that I like to make, I don't know if it's a concern, but when we list this ad hoc committee as an agenda item, like it is on our agenda today under for A, it makes it appears as though we're developing recommendations to construct a jail rather than explore the alternatives. And
In the way that
perhaps,
it's worded.
I think it gives the impression that there's a foregone conclusion here, and that's concerning to me. To me, it's an indication that we're not real objective in this analysis, and I think we need to be.
Would you have different language that we would put on it?
Well, when you look at the resolution draft, it says in the final two, now therefores, it shows that we'll develop recommendations.
Or you could say possible construction.
It says it will be created to review the need for a jail, explore alternative options, and make a recommendation.
Okay.
That's the second to the last now there.
In jail, explore alternative options.
I would just suggest that we not be as firm what the outcome of this ad hoc committee will be at this point.
Okay.
That may very well be what the outcome is, but I think it's a little premature.
So this then goes, if this committee approves this direction of an ad hoc committee with these recommendations, this then goes to county board for approval, and committee on committees then picks the members.
Yeah, it goes to executive finance first and then we'll go.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
think, I think on the meeting agenda coming up on the 11th.
It's on
Tuesday.
there.
Oh, it is on there. Okay, so we do have to go through. Wasn't sure because that's fine. That works. All right, so it'll go to executive and finance. They will then push it on to county board and committee decides.
So when if we scroll back to the composition of
The PowerPoint.
in the PowerPoint, the advisory non-voting members. It does, one area that isn't represented is just someone at large. These are all in the know people.
Okay.
Where an at large from the community member may be helpful because they may have a little different perspective or request for some additional information to help others understand that aren't quite as for the situations.
I would think that
Then, I know that the sheriff and I had discussed that as well, and the question is though, who, I mean, that's the hardest part of that. I agree with you. It should have somebody that's not part of it, but who do you get from the public that would be that person? You know what I mean?
So if you scroll back one screen, please, we do have the 3 at-large county board members. I know that's not a public.
so those are the three
Yes.
are also county board?
Yeah, these are.
Oh, I
so-
thought they were public people from the public,
Yeah, that's not.
private sectors, is what I thought.
There's some bullets of them.
Yeah.
You should have some from the private sector, I think.
Okay. So when you say private sector, just
Businessmen or.
okay, there's an
or
idea.
citizens,
A local
yeah.
business person or something be interested. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think it's someone that's
Okay.
not quite as in the know. Particularly when we're creating our messaging for the public around what could be a very large expenditure for taxpayers. Someone that would say, well, this isn't clear to me, I don't
Yeah, it doesn't
understand.
take long to get to 40 million.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
No.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't, but it's a very, but for the person on the street, it's a huge number.
It's huge. Yeah, you think about it every day, but yeah.
I think a local business person or someone who's maybe part of this community,
Right.
but I think
Right.
someone at large.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I thought they were, actually. I didn't think they were board members. I thought they were people from the community.
right.
So at least, how would we word that, community member or?
Add a non-voting at-large public member. I will spell this out just. All right. Other thoughts on this?
Another thing for your timeline, I thought it'd probably be beneficial if you do have an ad hoc committee, have a visit with, or like a tour, you have someplace in your schedule, tour with Richland County Jail versus like a newer facility. Kind of see the differences of, this is what we're dealing with here, and this is what most other places have went to, and needs are met at these facilities. So like an Iowa County or Crawford County, which have been built in the last couple of years.
So on that note, under October, where you have presentations, I think it would be helpful, especially for new board members, to have the venture architect people there.
Paul?
To not only address needs overall, safety needs, and space needs.
Are there other entities that utilize the jail or some circumstances? I know that we have the chief of police.
Dios.
Listed here.
Dios.
Yeah, are there other people like that might place some?
The DOC does, but besides that, I mean, you have your GED coordinators that come in and meet with inmates in the jail. And we have health team services already on there too, so maybe somebody that would be coming in for the GED courses. Oh, we also have the the ministers that come in for meeting with inmates that want to meet for being a minister.
Is there a limit to how many people are be on this? Because you
It's
really
good
want
Lord.
that many people on a committee?
Well, there's only 5 people that are voting. The rest are advisory. So, but you're right, it's a crowd. It's a very big crowd.
Right, but I think that committee could also, those 5 could also go, hey, we'd like a GED person to come and present to us. They don't have to be actual on that member, but they can present to us so we have that information. I think that would be an option without having to, just trying to coordinate getting all those people together in a meeting.
That'd be worth it.
Right.
The time of the people.
Right.
They're.
Let's ask them their input.
I would say that, a lot of those people that come in, they just need a space to meet. They don't really care about the rest of how the jail is created, as long as they have a space to meet with inmates. I think that's what their requirements can be in their head is, I just want a spot that's not a cell that I can meet with somebody.
Right, and in this case, with the Department of Corrections, the jail inspector is not part of the meeting, but he's gonna be presenting about it to gather that.
So will these meetings be videotaped? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, so that the rest of, so if you weren't on the committee, but you're still have to weigh in on the decision, so it's hard, when you're in a board meeting here you hear bits and pieces, but so you can actually watch, so you can hear the architect and you can hear
Right,
if you aren't there, so everybody can make a decision based on all of what's out there, not just what we hear, or, if you are in the committee, what you hear here in the meeting.
yeah, so all the meetings are video recorded.
Okay.
The only exception to that would be if they did a jail tour where they're outside of an actual meeting setting location. But other than that, that would.
Yeah.
We're gonna make changes to the timeline too, maybe not put the presenter as jail inspector Nathan White,
Yeah.
just jail inspector, because
Nathan
Nathan is no longer, he resigned from his position. And he's been our jail inspector for 25 years. So who knows what the next inspector is gonna have to say.
Might be a little hard.
It might be not as good. I mean, Nathan's been extremely good at working with us, saying, you know what, we'll make these things work, so next inspector could really hammer down on some things.
I remember when Bob Lee was the inspector
Yeah.
and he had issues. At jail, because he was serious issues, but he didn't do anything, he just kind of said, hey, this is what has to change.
And you still remember, even without, by the time funding, you're still, this is 5 years out before a new facility would be built.
It could be, it
4
depends,
to
yeah,
5 years, it doesn't happen.
right. We have, and to me, this is.
If it did happen,
Right, exactly. And to me, this is, we need the direction of what we're gonna do. And that's what this committee's, this ad hoc committee, what are we gonna do? That's the beginning. We have to have that started.
I view this process as creating a record of my.
Yes.
Show what it affects on the tax, so everybody knows, so.
And Randy, speaking of that, did you watch Carol's Worth? I mean, that'd be a good one for Randy to watch if you didn't watch her presentation.
What's that?
Carol Worth did a presentation in front of the, I think it was just the finance committee, right? She didn't do it in front of the whole county board, did she?
I think this is second finance.
Yeah, she did talk about the borrowing effect and what this would, building a facility with this much money would have an effect on the county. So it might be worthwhile if you haven't seen that one yet to log in and watch that presentation she did. She did a very good job with that presentation.
So what is the committee's thoughts? I have a number of things we've discussed about putting into this. And these are our recommendations for the ad hoc committee to give them direction, but it is up to, it's not up to us to create the ad hoc committee. It's up to us to make the recommendations to executive and finance to decide that.
Supportive of creating to, as we've discussed, to the advisory group of people that we want to include and help advise our analysis and decision, and including some tours. I think that would be helpful.
Do we want to make those change recommendations here, or do we just want the ad hoc committee? We want to give that list to the ad hoc committee and let them make those recommendations and suggestions here. Okay. So without writing them down, I'm just going to go through the ones I have so we can all be on the same checklist. These are the ones I have to add public works to the reporting. Currently, it's just public safety and executive right now. Yeah, underneath, I'll go back up to the timeline. Go to the timeline, please.
Full County Board, Public Safety, Judiciary, Standing Committee.
The third bullet under the.
Yeah. So on the
sub bullet under the first, near September.
we'll add public works to the September bullet. We will add a non-voting at-large public member. We will add jail tours. Add venture architect. To presenting. We will add GED information. So I'm going to come in and talk about the GED. And then we will change the jail inspector name and remove Nathan White as the jail inspector. We'll just presentations by jail inspector. Those are the items that we've talked about.
What about public defense? That's always kind of been a safety space.
So is that a conversation that we have now when we're deciding if we're going to, or if we're not going to build a jail, or is that a discussion we have when we say, yes, we're going to? Is that fair? Okay. I don't want to get too much in the weeds of what we're doing when we're trying to decide what we're going to do.
I think the point may be that in the composition of the advisory committee, if we consider that someone who can represent the one-on-one private discussion kind of thing, whether it's, so that would be one aspect of it. Another would be someone who can think about group meeting where there's more than one person, maybe if it's not one-on-one GED training, but I think that's already in the report.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The need for those types.
It is, yeah. It's in the
Types of
notes
rooms.
section.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's listed in the deficiencies that's not.
And a jail inspector won't, if the choice is to build, the jail inspector will not approve a build plan unless those things are included in it. So then we're kind of back to, are we getting too far ahead? in deciding what we're gonna do compared to what's has to be in the facility.
So I think when we're, some of the suggestions that maybe I even considered, like having representation from people that would use those smaller meeting rooms. I don't know that we actually need on the advisory committee, perhaps that, because it is referenced in the report that there are needs for that type of thing. That maybe down the road, if it was decided to build a new jail, we maybe want people to be involved in
Right.
space planning for that, but
But at this point,
I don't think, I think it's premature.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
all right. So you're thinking like the GED at this point is premature? Okay,
So too.
all right. What else do we think might be? I think venture architect's a good call, jail tours are a good call, public non-voting member, adding public works. Or those are the 5 items.
Wasn't there another one? Towards back to this committee?
That is on there, item, it's set. Yeah, item,
Oh, okay, right.
yeah, set, a timeline for reporting to the full county board and public safety judiciary standing committee, and we're gonna add public works to that. So that'll be up to the committee to pick that time frame. How they choose.
Step up.
All right, thank you very much. Other thoughts?
Just gonna add that. For the jail, just because we have to explore all options. It's like, oh, no. And we have the foundation set for any questions, things like that, that this is the cemented reason why we're doing.
So we have a motion on the floor. We've had discussion. To change this, I guess we'd be looking for a either to rescind that motion or to amend it. And the amendment, if anybody were interested, would be to add public works. To add a non-voting public at-large public member, add jail tours, and add venture architect. And also remove Nathan White from the list.
Would that lock us into venture if, for our architect, if, or, I mean, it's Sean.
No, they did the overall,
They've already been involved.
yeah, they've already been involved, so that would be their input of their existing reports.
So are you to amend the motion
I'm
at this point?
think-
Because we,
And then we won't, then,
Because we made changes.
yeah, it's,
Well, you can vote it down, or we can revote the whole thing, or we can just add the amendment to it.
well, I made the first motion.
You did.
I can amend my motion.
You would.
I would amend my motion to, when we're evaluating, I would amend my motion to include the addition of an at-large, non-voting member to the team, tours of the current jail and another facility, or facility. We would include reporting to the Public Works Standing Committee. We would strike the name of Nathan White as the inspector. We would include venture architect presenting their study.
All right, so I have a motion from Welty with those items. I have a second from Thompson on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. All right. Oh, anyone opposed? All right, okay. So now we have a motion on the floor to move, this will then move this to executive and finance next week. And that'll move on to county board and committee on committees. So
Do we need to vote on the motion, the original?
we do, that's what we're doing. Any further discussion on the original motion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Thank you very much. Good discussion. Thank you for the input. And this goes on to executive and finance. Item number 9, correspondence. Any fresh correspondence? Okay, no fresh correspondence. Item number 10, future agenda items. This is a time for anybody who wants to have something put on the agenda, thoughts and input to put something on the agenda. Hearing none, moving on to item number 10, adjournment. Motion to adjourn. Welty, second by Nolan. All in favor, say aye. Thank you very much. Another ad hoc.